Welcome back, everybody. We have 3 videos for you. The first one is on YouTube, coming from the Washington Post, and it's Donald Trump talking about the Minnesota Somalians.
Yes, so...
And for those of you who have been here a while, you know that we actually cracked the story
we're glad
on the Somalians' fraudulent activities in Minnesota far before anybody else was blowing the whistle. So it's nice to see that that is being taken care of, and
that it went all the way up the chain.
I'm excited to hear what Trump has to say about it.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I can say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. Yep. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country.
True.
I don't want them in our country.
Well, here's all I have to say. I am with him at 100%.
I am as well.
Because we really are at a tipping point.
The New York Times, I'm going to send you a little piece that you can insert here for people. The New York Times did an article. You may not like that he says they're garbage. We don't need them here.
Garbage.
But it is a fact when you look at the fraud that has and the money that has been extorted from the federal government and Minnesota, the state of Minnesota, to the tune of billions. With a B. Billions. And you can look at the offenders, and 98% of them are what? Somali. So don't call me a racist because I noticed.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
You're not wrong.
And the New York Times, which is supposed to be the paper of record for the United States, I disagree with it. It's been a propaganda rag sheet since before the 1930s. But I digress.
That'll be another podcast.
Oh, brother.
Holy baloney holes, man.
So because they are the paper of record for the United States, they had a very long article about what's going on in Minnesota and the Somali community. And they actually had a Dr. So-and-so who is a Somali that they referenced, they quoted throughout this whole article. And he said that these immigrants come from a culture of stealing, a culture of theft.
Not wrong.
So he's speaking what their culture is, because it's nothing new to them, as he explained in the article. It's nothing new to them. The government, the Somali government, has really never been a government. It just isn't. It's a failed state that is run by thugs, plain and simple. And so they're used to having a government that's garbage. And so any way that they could find a way to steal and thieve, they would steal and thieve. The end. They came to America and continued to do the same thing. Not okay here. So this is a cultural thing. And another thing that they talked about, this really ticked me off. I'm going to find this article as well. Norway is having the same problems as we are in Minnesota with fraud. What is the most popular, the most populous of the people's ethnicity in Minnesota? Scandinavian, and specifically Norwegian. If you go into Duluth and you see Leif Erikson Park, hello, the king of the Norwegians.
They just like to take advantage of the nice people.
That's exactly it. Norwegian nice. Why is Minnesota nice? Why is North Dakota nice? Because Scandinavians are nice. and they take advantage of
Why
the
is New York
nice
not so
people.
Because it's full of Italians. And I can say that because I come from Italians and we're spicy.
And you know what? Somalis wouldn't be able to go down to Miami and pull this crap off.
Hell no.
Because there's enough
Cubans,
Puerto Ricans and
yep,
Cubans down there
and
that
they
would
won't take
call
your crap
them
either.
out. Good on them.
We're
And
too
Dominicans, exactly. So you know what? They can't pull their garbage off there, but hey, come up to North Dakota.
They know who
and
will
Minnesota,
be too nice.
you can rip them off. Go up in Norway, you can rip them off.
Yep.
So you know what? It's not racist to notice something that is true.
Yep. Because they know that we'll give people the benefit of the doubt.
Exactly.
Because we're too nice and we want to help. And our heart says you should help.
Because that's who we are. There's something to be said about our culture.
Yep.
Their culture is thieving. And you know what? I have ever since I first started noticing the Somalis 10, 15 years ago in Fargo, I called them locusts.
True.
Because they find a fertile field and they strip
Decimate
it bare and then they move on. So you know what? That's not racism. That's me seeing a pattern. That's me noticing things.
Calling a locust isn't a bad thing. You're calling it what it is because that's what it does.
And I don't want locusts in my country anymore.
Nope. So the next video's from
Dr.
Dr. Steve Turley.
Your Patriot Professor. And he's going to wrap up everything that's happening in Minnesota. We're not watching it all.
Nope.
We're just going to watch a bit of it.
And we're about a minute into this video. So we'll pop into Dr. Steve Turley and see what he's got.
Many of you know President Trump has ordered the deployment of a massive federal law enforcement operation specifically targeting Somali immigrants in Minneapolis and St. Paul, the largest Somali community in the entire United States. We're talking over 100 federal officers surging to the Twin Cities this week, armored vehicles, targeted raids, and a message that years of looking the other way are officially over. The raids were ordered in the wake of the fallout from what federal prosecutors are calling one of the largest welfare fraud waves in American history. And some of that stolen money may have ended up in the hands of a group called Al-Shabaab, an Al-Qaeda-linked terror group in Somalia. And it gets worse. The fraud coming out of Minneapolis isn't just one scheme, it's an entire network. As it turns out, the $250 million stolen from child nutrition programs was just the tip of the iceberg. Federal authorities have uncovered housing stabilization fraud. They've uncovered autism services fraud. I mean, the list goes on and on. Federal prosecutors say these schemes have stolen billions, yes, that's billions with a B, billions of dollars from American taxpayers. Now, here's where this story takes an even wilder turn. While ICE agents are arresting people in Minneapolis, a Somali city councilor in Lewiston, Maine, a man by the name of Iman Osman, was just indicted on 2 felony counts for alleged.
So they're just going to talk more about this guy. You can see more. She's going to put a link to that whole video. He does talk about Minnesota after he talks about this guy that is running for school board or city commission, but he won't even give his actual address. The address that they have on file for him is a drug house. And he's up on gun charges. It is an absolute mess. Oof. So what I should have popped in here, doggone it. Once they've popped the cork off of this, there's a video from Cincinnati. I'm going to give her the link. You can click on it. A gal over there has said that you think Minneapolis is bad, you don't know what's going on in Ohio. Oof. with Somalis. And then she begins to articulate everything that's happening there. So that same fraud mecca that's happening in Minneapolis is also happening in Cincinnati. And that is just all of the people in Ohio are saying, we've had enough. You know what? They're getting free of them in Minnesota. Come and free us of them too. So I'll give her that link to put in the description as well. But since we had some heavy stuff and we've talked about some stuff that you're probably not used to people saying out loud, like get these people out of our country.
True.
We just wanted to end on a happier note.
Some comedy
with Shawn. He's my favorite Trump impersonator, and his little bit that he does is perfect.
My fellow Americans, it is my great honor, the greatest honor, to announce and declare complete and total victory over the 2025 hurricane season. We had 0 hurricanes in the Gulf of America ever since we made the name change. I got along very well with, you may have heard of her, Mother Nature. You may have heard of her. She's a tremendous person. I've known her for a long time, and we get along well. And I said to her, if you send any hurricanes into our country, we're going to hit you with tariffs the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. We're going to tariff those storms at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000%. And she said, sir, we're not going to send any hurricanes in. And we made a beautiful deal. Mother Nature, great person. But we had a lot of, they call it wind shear. They call it wind shear. And it ripped up the storms out there before they can get to our country. Ripped up the storms worse than the Somalians are ripping up Minnesota. You look at Ilhan, you look at the brother. Many people are saying it. She married her brother.
True.
And very interesting. If she did that, you know, it's a raw deal for the brother. He divorced his first wife, which was probably a goat, and wound up marrying a pig in Ilhan Omar. She's a nasty person, very nasty. But you had a lot of people talking about it. It's an El Nino year. It's a La Nina year. You're going to have hurricanes. We deported El Nino, and we deported La Nina, too. They were in our country illegally. We got rid of them. And we had the greatest hurricane season the world has ever seen. No hurricanes in the Gulf of America. We did a tremendous job. So I wanted to thank Mother Nature for holding up her end of the bargain. She did a fantastic job, and we had a wonderful and safe Atlantic hurricane season. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
That was pretty good.
And a good way to end.
True.
We will keep you posted.
We will indeed. I'm sure there will be a lot more to come with the Somalian.
Especially since Secretary Besant, who of course is the Secretary of Treasury, you're going to see his name on your money. Secretary Besant has opened an investigation into Minnesota.
Good.
A fraud investigation. So when you have Treasury after you, that is G-Men. Remember who was the famous G-Man that got, I loved that movie, who got Al Capone? Shoot. You guys can say in the comments who he was. How do I don't remember his name? So yeah.
How do I don't?
How do I don't? How do I not remember his name? It's late. That's why. So we have G-Men doing their thing again. I gotta ask, who was the G-Man that took down Al Capone? And the winner is
famously took down Al Capone was
Elliot Ness.
Elliot Ness. So we now have people like Elliot Ness and his clan that are going into Minnesota. So look out.
And it's about time.
They took down Al Capone. They can take down Tampon Tim, I think.
Oh, easy. And
and Ilhan Omar.
Funny enough, there's a distant relative that I married into the family of that was posting. They live in Minnesota, and they had ice out in their neighborhood, and of course they live in Minnesota, so they're liberal, and we're throwing a fit, complaining, oh, F Trump, F ICE, this, that, they don't have a right to be here, as they proceed to say that the people in this house that's their neighbor has warrants out for their arrest, but ICE and the police department has no reason that they're allowed to be doing what they're doing. So I just simply stated that if you break the law, if you're an illegal alien, or if you have a warrant, the police and ICE have every right to apprehend you.
Those poor people.
And I didn't say this in the comment either, but also the people in your home. If you have a warrant out for your arrest, they can detain the people around you for questioning.
Yep.
And that's legal. That's not against the
Mhm.
law. And so they're pitching a fit, and I commented, and of course the comments blew up, and I have no empathy, and I'm this, that, because it always degrades into personal attacks and whatever.
It has to.
And I just simply stated the fact that if you break the law, breaking the law has consequences, but I'm the bad person for saying that.
Breaking the law.
Which is fine. I really could care less. I just think it's hilarious that it's so predictable that you know what's going to happen. I knew the moment I pressed post, I knew exactly what would happen. But the reason that I brought this up is to say, no matter who it is, we need to just speak truth.
Yep.
Because the longer that you don't speak truth to try to keep the peace and to try to not be the bad guy and all the crap that you don't want to deal with, I don't want to deal with it. I really don't. But
Nope.
the longer that we just allow the lies to permeate and for people to believe the lies unopposed, the longer that things will continue to be out of hand. So people with sane minds need to start speaking up and continuing to spread truth even when it's uncomfortable.
So I handle things differently with people on Facebook. I'm one of those people. So if somebody wants to complain and blah, 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 ICE, then I go ahead and put the tip line on there. Or check it out. They're installing drop boxes. Can you see the drop box?
No.
It is. Oh, I can't see it. Maybe you can see it.
Brother. She'll just have to send it to me.
And it says ICE. So they've got drop boxes now, so you can just go ahead and pop the illegal in the drop box.
I'm just over everyone complaining about it all. It's like, you know what? I'm sorry. You're here illegally. Things happen that way. Like, if you break the law, there are consequences for breaking the law. That's all there is.
You're not wrong.
Until the next one.
There's one of my favorites. I'll have her read it to you.
Oh boy, it says, we bring people from shithole countries because shithole Democrats need shithole voters so they can turn America into a shithole. I love how you always get on me for swearing and then hand me the most swear words in the world to read.
But that's only because Trump said that we're done bringing in people from shithole countries.
It's true.
And so now there are t-shirts that are using that word over and over and over again. And so since most of the people that are angry on Facebook have TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, then they know that he said shithole country because they took such offense to that. So now you go ahead and put up a t-shirt.
The country? What else would you call it?
So you put up a t-shirt that has that on it many, many times, and you're going to trigger them, and their head's going to blow up as they're reading it, and that's why I do that.
Yeah, it's pretty simple to spot a liberal in the wild, though.
Yeah.
They usually have oddly colored hair and a bull ring and other multiple facial piercings, and usually dress like a liberal. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
big weird glasses.
But see, here's the thing. That's how you can identify the crazy ones. We're talking about the psychotic liberals, not the regular reasonable ones.
Yeah, there are still some liberals, still some Democrats that believe that they are Democrats from back in the day.
Yeah. And they don't do all that. They don't dye their hair pink and put in a bull ring and go out in the streets and scream in your face. They believe in democracy like we do.
That reminds me that I need us to do a video on I found Joe Biden speaking on a topic in 1989 very specifically. And the Democrats today are trying to have Pete Hegseth removed from office for doing what Joe Biden said was supposed to be done in 1989. So
Bum, bum, bum.
we're going to do that one next, I think.
Yes, we will. Until the next one.
Bye.
Bye.